and welcome to Lisa's Pilates. Today we're going to be working on our core control. So we're going to start laying on our backs, knees bent, feet hip distance apart, arms relaxed down by our side, and then you're going to start by learning how to contract pelvic floor muscles and your transverse abdominis. So your pelvic floor muscles are internal, so if you imagine you're halfway through going for a wee and you have to stop midway, they're contracting your pelvic floor muscles. So I want you to try contracting and releasing pelvic floor. Then if you imagine you've got a pair of trousers that don't fit you anymore and you're trying to get the button done up, you're sucking your belly button back towards the spine, narrowing your waistline and tightening that transverse abdominis muscle. So that should feel like you've activated that lower part of your stomach. If you're not sure you're doing that correctly, if you find your hip bones, bring your fingers in an inch and down an inch, so you're just above your groin. Relax your muscles and then contract, pull the belly button back towards the spine. You should feel that kick against your fingers and you'll know you've engaged the right muscles then. So try and engage your pelvic floor and your transverse abdominis muscle, and that is you engaging your core. So to start with, we're just going to start with basic movements. So thinking about getting your neutral spine correct. So if you make a triangle with your hand, so thumbs together, fingers together, place that down on your pelvis and then just tilt backwards and forwards, you'll get to feel your lower back lifting off the floor and then pressing back down into the floor. So just getting that rocking effect. In between those two extremes, you'll find your neutral position. Now this is different for everybody, but you don't want to feel as if you've got a big gap between your lower back and the floor. It should be just gently touching, but without being forced down. So find that neutral position, engage your core, and then we're just going to start with the basic knee lift. So the foot comes off the floor, knee comes above the hip, leg at right angle, and place it back down. And then alternate sides as you go. As you're going from one side to the other, we're not worrying about how much leg movement we've got, we're worrying about how stable you're keeping your lower back and your pelvis. So if you want, use your hands as a pressure gauge, so you're trying to keep the pressure against your back still as you go through the movement, or visualise your pelvis like a compass, north, south, east and west. As you switch from one leg to the other, you're trying not to let the pelvis tip from east to west, and as you're lifting and lowering the leg, you're trying not to let it rock from north to south. And then to progress that, so you can stick at that level if you're finding it challenging. Level 2, you're going to bring the legs to 90 degrees and then you're just going to arc one leg down. Now on this one, as soon as you feel your back starting to lift, you've gone too far. So if you get halfway down and you can start to feel that tip point, that's your end range. Until you get a little bit stronger through the core, don't try and work past that. So you're just thinking about opening that hip, but keeping the back and the pelvis still. Breathing out as you lower the leg, breathing in as you bring it back up. And again, if that feels easy, if you want to progress it, you're going to go on to straightening the leg, lengthening the lever, bringing it back in. Exhale as the leg goes away from you. Inhale as you bring it back towards you. Try and keep the other leg stable at that right angle position if you can. Keep focusing on your core, so you keep drawing the belly button back towards the spine. Keep tightening the pelvic floor, relax your shoulders, relax your neck. And then have a breather. Hug your knees in. Good. Okay, slightly more advanced. If you struggled with that one, repeat the same level. We're just going to do a slightly harder one for those that are comfortable with it. Starting with your hands on your knees. Focus on that neutral position again, draw the core in tight, and the aim is to not let this move through the midsection. So you're going to take your arms up towards the ceiling, or the sky, legs up, circle the arms around, hug the knees back in. So for this one, level 1 is your legs go straight up. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, you're going to go out with the legs, circle around. If you want to make it even more challenging, you're going to go out along the floor. So the lower you go with the legs, the harder it is. If you want to make it even harder, lift your head into a bit of a crunch position. Focus on drawing in and down with the core, so you haven't got that domed up effect happening. And then you can go out a little bit longer with the legs again and protect your lower back a little bit as well. So you're breathing out as you open the body up, breathing in as you come back to the middle. You want to aim for about 10 repetitions of each, if you can, if you've got the time. Okay, relax your head down, hug your knees in. Okay, feet back down, arms back down by your side. So we're still focusing on learning how to control the pelvis, lower back, and stop this rocking movement through the lower back and pelvis, and learning to do what we like with the legs. So we're coming back to bent knee position. We're engaging our core again, so pelvic floor contracted, belly button back towards the spine. And then this time you're just going to let one knee drop out to the side of the room. Now the knee drops out, but the pelvis doesn't get dragged across with it. So you're pinning the hips down, keeping everything still. It's just the leg that's dropping and then coming back to the centre. Repeat on the other side. Relax your shoulders, relax your ribs down, and focus on keeping one leg completely still whilst the other one drops out. It should feel quite an easy movement, but if you're engaging your core correctly, you can still make yourself work quite hard with this one. So the more you tighten those abdominal muscles, particularly transverse, so sucking that belly button back towards the spine, the more you'll feel that work in the lower part of your stomach. Breathing out as the knee drops away, breathing in as you bring it